Hi everyone. Welcome to the Flow Drive channel. Today, we've got 15 New York driving test questions for you. Let's get started. You must yield to a pedestrian using a white cane or guide dog. A. Only when the guide dog is leading the person across the street. B. At all times. C. Only if a crossing guard is present. Pedestrians who use guide dogs or white canes, with or without a red tip, must be given the right-of-way at all times. On a green arrow, you must A. Yield to any vehicle, bicycle, or pedestrian in the intersection. B. Yield to pedestrians only in the intersection. C. Wait 4 seconds before proceeding. A green arrow means go. You must turn in the direction the arrow is pointing after you yield to any vehicles, bicycles, or pedestrians who are still in the intersection. You may legally block an intersection. A. If you entered the intersection on the green light. B. During rush hour traffic. C. Under no circumstances. Even if the light is green, you may not enter an intersection unless you can get completely across before the light turns red. If you block the intersection, you can be cited. If you plan to pass another vehicle, you should A. Not assume the other driver will make space for you to return to your lane. B. Assume the other driver will let you pass if you use your turn signal. C. Assume the other driver will maintain a constant speed. Even when you signal, you should not assume that the space you want to occupy is free or that other drivers will give you the right-of-way. You want to turn left at an upcoming corner. Yield the right-of-way to A. Oncoming vehicles, also turning left. B. All approaching vehicles. C. Pedestrians on the sidewalk waiting for a walk signal. When making a left turn, you must yield to pedestrians, bicyclists, or other vehicles moving on their green light. Before you change lanes, you should check your mirrors and A. Never look over your right shoulder. B. Always slow down in your traffic lane. C. Glance over your shoulder. Before changing lanes, it is very important to check behind you. You should look over your shoulder to ensure that you are not getting in the way of vehicles in the lane you want to enter. Before changing lanes, you should also ensure that no drivers are attempting to drive into the same spot from a different lane. When driving on a slippery surface, such as snow or ice. A. Shift to a low gear before going down steep hills. B. Maintain traction by following other vehicles closely. C. Pump your brakes to keep them from freezing. To prevent skidding on slippery surfaces, you should shift to a low gear before going down a steep hill. You should also follow farther behind the vehicle in front of you than you normally would. Quick stops should be avoided. Unless you have anti-lock brakes, pump the brakes to slow or stop. You are approaching a green traffic light and traffic is blocking the intersection. What is the best thing to do? A. Partially enter the intersection to establish your right-of-way. B. Don't enter the intersection until you can get completely across. C. Continue into the intersection and wait for traffic to clear. Even if your light is green, you must not enter an intersection unless you can get completely through the intersection before the light turns red. If you block the intersection, you can be. On a freeway, you should look farther ahead than you would on a city street. A. In order to see potential hazards early. B. Because it takes a quarter of a mile to stop your vehicle completely. C. Because it helps you keep up with traffic. On the freeway, be ready for changes in traffic conditions. Watch for signals from other drivers. Expect merging vehicles at on-ramps and interchanges, and be prepared for rapid changes in road conditions and traffic flow. Do yellow lines separate? A. Traffic lanes on one-way streets. B. Traffic moving in opposite directions on two-way roads. C. All carpool lanes from regular traffic lanes. Yellow lines mark the center of a road used for two-way traffic. A solid yellow center line indicates that drivers may not cross the line to pass. A broken yellow center line indicates that drivers may cross the line to pass, but only if passing would not interfere with traffic. Which of these statements is true about large trucks? A. They take longer to stop than passenger vehicles. B. They all have air brakes that allow them to stop quickly. C. They are more maneuverable than passenger vehicles. Large trucks take longer to stop than other vehicles traveling at the same speed. The average passenger vehicle traveling at 55 miles per hour can stop within 400 feet. However, a large truck traveling at the same speed can take almost 800 feet to stop. Which of these statements is true about changing lanes? A. You only need to turn and look over your right shoulder for lane changes to the right or left. B. Look over your right shoulder for a right lane change and your left shoulder for a left lane change. C. Vehicles with two outside mirrors do not have blind spots. Before changing lanes, signal, look in all your mirrors, and look over your left or right shoulder to make sure the lane next to you is clear. Looking over your shoulder is a way to check your blind spot to be sure there is no vehicle, motorcycle, or bicycle traffic in the next lane.